Prime Minister as well. We have a few ambassadors here. Of course, Ambassador Odimbo from Kenya, who's here, and yes, I'm sorry, there's our ambassador from, yes, sorry. Okay, and I probably missed a couple of others. Before we begin, I'll just say a few words, and before I give the introduction for Mr. Odinga. We want to, first of all, join President Obama in congratulating Your Excellency on using legal channels to pursue complaints on election irregularities and urging your own followers to avoid violence. We're all very proud of the way Kenya has come through these elections and remains a country of priority interest to the United States in economic and security and strategic areas. Of course, you reside in a troubled neighborhood. I'm sure we're going to hear more about that this morning, but opportunities abound. In this year of the 50th anniversary of the African Union and the 50th anniversary of Kenyan independence, Kenya is a key player in the East African community and IGAD, and is a regional hub with the largest economy by GDP in East and Central Africa. Our speaker today is going to be looking at African achievements and challenges, learning from the past and looking forward. And I think it actually offers us a perfect glimpse at a life after government. And the opportunities that high-level government service provides for one to pursue and to contribute to a country's progress and prosperity through other avenues. This is an example for other African leaders and will go a long way, I am sure, in healing any rifts we may have opened between Kenya and the United States during the past election process. I know that former Prime Minister Odinga will be addressing a group of American businessmen and women at Corporate Council on Africa later today, and probably having a number of other private conversations as well. So I'm sure this will go a long way in reestablishing and cementing our continued good relations with Kenya. Raila Odinga, as you know, of course, was the Prime Minister of Kenya during the coalition government of 2008 to 2013. He was first elected a member of Parliament, however, from Langata in 1992, and is still an MP. He also was Minister of Energy from 2001 to 2002, and Minister of Roads, Public Works, and Housing from 2003 to 2005. So he has a long government service. He was the main opposition candidate in 2007 presidential elections, and following, as we all know, the post-electoral crisis there, he took office as Prime Minister in a unity government in 2008. He is the son, by the way, of the first Vice President of Kenya, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, and his brother, Oburu Odinga, is currently a member of Parliament as well. He also, amongst many other honors that have come his way, he was in 2011 was appointed special envoy, peace envoy for the AU for the post-election crisis in the Côte d'Ivoire. By education, former Prime Minister Odinga is a Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, graduating from Edinburgh College in Advanced Technology in 1969, and he taught mechanical engineering at the University of Nairobi from 1970 to 1974. I mention this just because, obviously, he has a career to fall back on, too. Always could be a mechanical engineer. That's a very good lesson for all of us. Get a real job. So, with that introduction and further welcome, we are being webcast live, so we have an international audience as well as our audience in the room today. We also have an overabundance of people here, so I believe we have an overflow room as well. So I want to welcome the people in the overflow room and our international audience, and please invite former Prime Minister Odinga to the podium.
Thank you very much for introduction. Let me begin first by acknowledging my old friend, Johnny Carson, who is in the audience here, former Ambassador of the United States to Kenya and Assistant Secretary for African Affairs. But I can also see quite a number of familiar faces in the audience here. Well, let me say that I'm very pleased to be here this morning. I've been invited to come and talk to you about Africa, past, present, and the future. And I begin by saying that I'm talking to you as an Afro-optimist, as opposed to Afro-pessimist. I'm a pan-Africanist who believe in the ability of African people to develop Africa. And that is the school that we call Afro-optimists. There are those who have given up on Africa, who say Africa is a basket case. Those are the Afro-pessimists. Now, 3 weeks ago, the heads of state of Africa gathered in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the founding of the Organization of African Unity. Some of you who may have followed the events in Addis Ababa, you no doubt agree with me that there was a feeling of deja vu, that Africa has arrived, that this is Africa's time, Africa's moment, and that the 21st century will be African century.